Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and I am wearing my Boba Fett robe, yes, and I do have bedhead. But I am going to be reviewing House of the Devil. Now this movie is written, directed, edited all by the same guy. It's got an old school feel to it, like an early 80s feel. You'll see a Walkman in there, yeah, I remember those. And the movie is just a cool tone to it. It feels so familiar and warm to it because all your classic suspense horror films kind of have this exact same feel, and you can tell that this is coming from an admirer of Halloween, The Shining, and all those good ones. You just feel it. Like right from the beginning, I was watching, I was like, man, this feels like something I should have already watched, and how dare me not watch it already. Had that feel instant. And then you just automatically have this level of comfort with it because it does mimic the styles of the things that you like, classic style. Now, I'm not talking about Nosferatu classics now are, Halloween, Shining, things like that. To me, those are greats that you feel compelled to watch every year. But enough rambling about the way it looks. The story is about a girl that's in college. She's got a roommate that she's kind of tired of, and she looks at the very beginning at a place that she wants to take up and start renting on her own. She gets the place, and now she's got to figure out how to get the money. So she's walking around campus. She finds a flyer for a babysitter. She takes it, calls it. They were supposed to meet up. They don't. And she tells her friend about it. The guy calls back wanting her to be the babysitter. And it is super short notice because it's actually supposed to be for that night. So her and her friend go to the home that she's going to be babysitting at. They invite her in. They find out that, in fact, there's no child there and that she's babysitting their mother, which is going to be in a room, and all she has to do is sit there for 4 hours. And she'll end up making like $400 for 4 hours. So, of course, she does it. Her friend's aggravated that she's doing it. And then here starts the roller coaster ride of great shots. I mean, this movie, I feel like, has some of the awesome shots that you appreciate from all these other films, and that's why it makes it feel so familiar. But it also shows you that you can handle your shots and pull off a great product with no budget. I mean, I'm sure there wasn't much of a budget at all for this, but it looked fantastic. Some of these shots that you take with you afterwards, and if you're wanting to make a film, a short film, or anything at all, this is a movie that you would want to dissect and watch scene by scene, because a whole scene feels like it was great importance was taken in the whole process, and that it was almost going to be a short film from beginning to end. Every scene was set up like that. Like, how can I start out here and finish here and make this all a beautiful cut thing with some suspense in it from not even doing anything, from just making a shot. And I think it pulls that off great. It almost does it too much, but I think they pull back from doing it just enough to make it feel like, okay, this is working. And one scene in particular gave me a beautiful idea, which probably anybody who goes to film school would know already, but I don't, because I didn't go to film school. But the shot starts off like crooked, and then it does this turning motion and stuff, and it comes back perfect while the guy's following or walking into the shot, into the frame, from a distance to up close. Now, it's almost like he started out in reverse. All right, I want you here. This is your mark. Here's another mark, and then start. And then he did it like, okay, I'm going to set up for your ending first, and we'll do it in reverse, and then I'm going to start out at this weird angle. And then it just flows and creeps and shows everything, and it comes back to a perfect frame shot. And I thought that was beautiful. Now, when it gets to the climax, the main thing of the film, I think that's where it fell off. Like, everything up until that point was just beautiful. It was like one of those great, elegant roller coaster rides that you don't feel terrified. You're supposed to feel terrified, but it's such a joy being on something so well engineered that you're just in awe. And I was like that all the way up to the climatic point, and it just fell off for me because it lost a lot of that artsy stuff in there for me. And it just went straight into kind of a chaotic sort of filming style, which I didn't like. I thought it was like, okay, I filmed this was beautiful, and I'm going to hand this over to somebody else, film this shot because I don't know too much about this, and then I'll pick back up right here at the end. And that's what it felt like in there. It was like a gap that didn't fit the rest of the film. So that'll take a ding for that. But overall, I thought it was great. It was a great film that you have to watch to appreciate that style and that craft, which is old and forgotten, but brought back for this. So this is a long-winded review on something that I really like. Even though I'm going to rate it probably, I've been in this pattern of rating around the same, but everything's fell into that same gap for me. And I guess that's good because they haven't been terrible. They haven't been super great. They've just been kind of mediocre, but just barely above mediocre. So this one's going to get a 7 out of 10 because I really do appreciate the style of filming. There's not much for a story there. Also, this is supposed to be based on actual events, so I'm not going to spoil too much for you, more than I already have. So just watch it and appreciate what you're seeing, and subscribe, share, and like this video. See you later.